Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Where I Went Wrong. And in this edition of Where I Went Wrong, I'll be doing Where I Went Wrong, UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Vieira. And so, yeah, this is a very nice echo in this place. So, hey, it ain't the best, but hey, I'm in location. I'm going to go what I got to go with. So I'm like, with a whole week late, coming back with this poor quality, echoey, fuzzy video, but I just got to show you I'm alive. I might be a clone or whatever the case may be, but somebody here that looks like me is posting content. You got the clone in the echoey place, a whole week late, trying to be on my Corey Kenshin, and gonna be posting like what go on these 6 months, 365 hiatus. But yeah. Anyway, a whole week late on this one, but yeah, Home versus Vieira. Let's get into it while we're wrong. And let me start looking at the card. So first fight, Sam Hughes versus Elise Reed. I actually got a read on this card from somebody, and they were pretty accurate on it, and it played out. And I just like said I could capitalize on it. All right, no, this could easily, with the intel I got, could have turned into lock and not a lock, but a high confidence the other way. I picked Elise Reed. Somebody gave me some good intel to lean Hughes, and I was like saying that was pretty good intel. That's pretty spot on. But I decided to stick with my original pick here, and it played out, how it was suspected. Elise Reed just does not have her wrestling defense is not that technical. Hughes, she's not the greatest wrestler. You got some clear holes in your wrestling game or some clear lack of basic fundamentals that's not where they need to be. Somebody's going to exploit them, and that's what happened in the fight. She got wrestled and dominated in the wrestling grappling department. And that was like really the story of the fight. I guess my thing in that one, especially now going forward, like I got some intel that could have helped. Could listen to that more, and going forward, I should need to listen to it more, especially on picks like I said I may be a little bit iffy on. Maybe a little bit iffy on. Like I said, ultimately you gotta stick. You can't just be jumping to every single thing, but ultimately you feel a little iffy about it, and intel spot on, and you could see that after carrying intel, or even you got a little bit of inkling that was my concern. Even when I did that series before I went wrong, before I go wrong, and I was even before somebody even gave me intel, I said the wrestling kind of concerns me, and that's ultimately was what bit me in the butt. So I knew where it could go wrong, and it went wrong where I knew it could go wrong. So like I said, you already got an inkling, and then you get some other little inklings in another direction. That's when you really got to start to take it on. That's the thing is, and then you got other people that's giving you that little extra little nudge. Take it in most cases. But right now, still like a fresh thing I'm doing. I might not continue that. Especially, I'm probably gonna do maybe 1 or 2 more weeks because this week was horrendous. I went 4-7. I even say that I'm a whole week behind, and now I'm not even doing what I usually do. So when 4 of 7, well 4-7 with 4 of 11, my worst card probably in over a year, like terrible. But looking to rebound. We got this week off, and now I think maybe another week off until fights are, whatever case may be. It's a while before there are fights, but yeah, with this one, wrestling was a clear issue. I saw his issue and got exposed. I got some pre-intel, but didn't take advantage of it. So definitely got to consider that much more, factor that much more going into next card out in cards in the future. But we'll see. Like, what works, it works. What doesn't work, what doesn't work. We gotta look at over the long scale. This is one card, and like I tried to do something different. I didn't really take full advantage of something different. Like I really just ultimately only pick I changed ended up being a wrong pick. And when I could have just stuck with my original picks, I would have did a little bit better. But I only changed one pick, and that pick ended up being wrong. And that was even the greatest reason to change that pick. It was poor reasoning and going against my standards. But we'll get to that. Yeah, so that one wrestling. So going forward, Reed's wrestling against wrestlers, you gotta definitely, raise the eyebrow when you go against wrestlers that's actually going to wrestle and not look there to strike. So that's something to look for. Sam Hughes, you can see her taking advantage of a woman that have poor wrestling games, wrestling grappling games. You gotta take advantage of Hughes there, but as far as on the winning side, if you're going to pick Hughes on the winning side. Yeah, the next fight, Chase Hooper versus Galaris. Good read on me there. I got a Hooper there in that fight. So no, that's not a wrong. So wrong pick was Hughes. It was Reed in the first fight. Hooper got that one right, but this is where I went wrong and not where I went right. So yeah, first wrong was Reed. Picked her. That was the wrong pick. Now next fight right after that was Martinez versus Morales. And this was a pick where I switched up and got it wrong. Like I was originally going to Morales. Martinez, not Morales. I was originally going Martinez, and then I was like, I don't know. Martinez kind of chinny a little bit at times. Morales got a little bit of power. We don't really know much about him, and that's the big fact. Like I said, I don't really know much about Morales. I can't really get a good gauge on him. Like, is he just good? Is he that good? I can't really judge. He had a good fight with Yadong Song in the past, but Yadong Song has evolved a whole lot since then, and a lot of his losses were questionable and stuff. So I couldn't really gauge where he at. And the fights that looked good didn't really last that much or didn't show that much. But I should have went with Jonathan Martinez even. Like I just feel like he had more tools. Martinez did, and also a big factor training with somebody. I mean, he has the tools, more tools, and he trains with a guy and has coached by the same people that put an excellent game plan to destroy him with Gutierrez. Gutierrez went out there and just embarrassed him, ran right through him. So like, you had experience and you had the tools, and they're gonna train you. Like, and what happened? Like, he didn't get the exact same outcome, but he still went out there, batted those legs up pretty easy, not easily, but pretty well for the excellent game plan, and beat him without much issue. So it should have stuck with the guy. He already has more tools, trains with the people, or trains under the people that train Gutierrez to pick him apart, trains alongside Gutierrez. So you already got that experience is a big factor. And when you can train alongside somebody who's had, an excellent run, excellent playthrough, excellent experience, coming out on the winning side in a dominant fashion over the person that you're about to fight. So you can like, oh, this guy has the blueprint. My coaching staff has the blueprint. And though it didn't follow through like the exact same way or wasn't like flawless, still a very good game plan and still followed it to a T and got a dominant enough win. So should have went with Martinez did. That was no reason really to pick it, like especially to pick, oh, you like banking on a knockout or banking on drops. That's not the greatest thing unless it was actual clear evidence, oh, he's open for this and this guy throws that punch, or this guy's open for everything. And it was no clear read to lean to Martinez. Not Martinez, it was no clear lead it was no clear lead to lean to no clear lead to lean to Morales. That was a clear reach pick to lean to Morales, so that was a bad pick. And no need to change that one. I should have stuck with Martinez. Simple as put. Next fight, Oroz Medic versus Omar Morales in this one. Like, again, I didn't know what Oroz Medic is. Like, he can't afford tomato cans. I know he's a great, decent enough striker. I'm not going to say great. I'm still not going to say great. He got to earn that. Decent enough striker, solid striker. More than one dimensional side. Beat a couple cans. Then he fought Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner just tuned him up and spit him out. But I guess with this one, though, in my Before I Go Wrong video, I said, oh, my issue with Omar Morales was sometimes he might not get too comfortable striking. I feel like he kind of did that in this fight, and he got made to pay for it. And I don't feel like he's a great striker, but I feel like more so it's a fight where he needed to mix up more, and he did not do that. He didn't attempt it as much, and like he just didn't really do that. And then turned into a striking matchup, and he was outgunned by the better striker. So Morales kind of fall into his fault, as far as the path to, like, if you expect him to lose, maybe more decision. I was more expecting the path, but to destroy him like that, what Medici did was pretty impressive. But yeah, it just was a case where Morales didn't use his tools fully. Medici stuck to his strength, his specialty, and showed that he was levels above in that specialty. Yeah, Martinez on the side, I got some questions about it. Age-wise, always been a big question mark. And now taking these big losses and following this big loss right here, where does he go? Maybe he turns into some easy money for some future opponents. But is it right now? Got some thinking to do. Oroz Medic, good win, but how he look against maybe some guys that would actually look to grapple him. We got to see that grapple some more. Some people look to attempt it against him, or at least to look to threaten that area more. But striking matchup, like maybe on the lower end for right now, Oroz Medic could be some good money. Like you could put some money on him going forward. But still, we need to see him fight a fight where somebody's really going to take it to him in the grappling department. Maybe we need to see him fight some more credible strikers, see how he hangs with them. But right now, looking pretty good. But still got a lot of questions with Oroz Medic. Omar Morales on the side, looking like stocks are dropping heavily for him, and he's looking like a wounded duck out there, a wounded animal out there, and maybe you can make some cash off picking on his downtrend going forward. Because now, seems like he's not the greatest striker, not the greatest wrestler, especially in the last two fights. The last fight, prior to this one, he got out grappled with pretty relative ease, and this one he got mixed up in TKOs, so he got Clearly show he needs improvements in striking. Clearly show he needs improvements in wrestling. It's not like he's losing to the best wrestler in the division. He's not losing to the best striker in the division. So, and he's getting beat pretty dominant in those areas. So, got some things to work on, but they only got the most time to work on it. So, definitely a wounded duck. It's not like he's 25, 26, 27. He's like, he got like mid 30s. Some questions on his side. And he, again, looking like a wounded animal that you could bet down on. But anywho, next one was let me see, Jun Young Park versus Eric Anders in the middleweight division. In this one, it played out just as I thought. It just didn't lean the way I thought. I knew Jun Young Park threw more punches. Eric Anders not a guy that lets his hand go. He got more power. He got more experience. I would have hoped he would have got a takedown third. That probably might have leaned in his way, but ultimately he didn't get it, and that's maybe a big factor. But even with if he did get like a good takedown in third, he might have lost the fight. This one's fight where I feel like it could be close, and it ultimately was close. It was a split decision, but it just didn't lean his way. But I guess the thing in this one is like lean to the fight that's going to throw more. If the fight goes to decision, lean to the guy that's going to throw more typically, or at least get some takedowns and do something with it. It's like and that's the factor. Eric Anders, he could get takedowns, but it's not like he's going to do anything with it. He doesn't have no great ground and pound. He's definitely not a submission threat. He's not going to be able to really establish control on the ground. So his takedowns don't really mean nothing if a guy almost outstriking him 2-1 or at least being more active. So in that case, who matters if he takes a guy down? This guy has almost zero wrestling. And Junior Park clearly has been working on his wrestling. Eric Anders was able to have success in the wrestling, but obviously he was able to just go out there and just lay on him because Junior Park has been working on that area a lot. So it's not like Eric Anders wasn't expected to do anything great on the ground, and he didn't do nothing great on the ground. He did get takedowns, but did nothing with them. So yeah, should have led to the guy that's going to throw more volume. And that was my before I go wrong video. I was like, yeah, Eric Anders doesn't throw too much, but I could factor maybe his power in landing the heavier shots, the more compelling shots, and then getting takedowns could edge his fight for him. Came close enough to get a split decision, but ultimately not close enough to get a cigar. Close, but no cigar. Like I said, should lean with the younger man and the guy that's going to be more active. But nonetheless, close fight. I feel like a lot of people say, oh, that fight that should have went to Eric Anders' way, but ultimately it didn't. So he didn't do enough. And the fact that he didn't do enough, he left the opportunity for the fight to go that way. And the guy that did more activity, Junior Park, won. Next fight we had, as far as where I went wrong, Tabitha Ricci versus Poliana Viana. And this one I just thought Tabitha Ricci was just too small, but ultimately it's not a matter. Ricci wasn't too small. It was more so Viana just wasn't that good. I feel like it came down to wrestling, and the grappling definitely a big factor as well. But I feel like Ricci had the more polished wrestling, was faster, more fluid on the feet, and was able to get these takedowns. And so I guess in this one, like, Ricci going for it, still going to probably pick a lot against her because, like, I can't see her going very far in the division. Viana, like, she had a couple little decent little wins. Now her streak's over. And now, like, I don't know what to say about her. Still at the bottom of the division. Ricci beat her, but beating Viana, though, still keeps you pretty much bottom of the division. So, like, not really looking high on either woman, but the better wrestler, graphic person who was able to control the position was Ricci. And Viana clearly has holes in her own wrestling, and Ricci was able to take advantage of them. So, despite the her weaknesses, her lack of size, lack of strength, like this, just look more polished, more clean, and the cleaner technique won. Viana's size was not enough to overcome the grappling, the skill gap, and wrestling gap. So I didn't think I overlooked Ricci's technique, and that was a big factor. And I think Viana's not like necessarily someone that is using her size so well. So things that I overlooked. I don't know. I don't feel like I went through 7. Let me see. Let me look back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, hey, I guess it is 7. So let me see. Now, next one we had Angel Kawani versus Todorovic. And this one, I saw this one. Even in the video I was saying but you make dumb mistakes. You just come out there, just like trying to reach, and you just hope that you reach and you like come out like sometimes you get in that mode where you make reach picks hoping it comes out for your way and stuff, and like you just look like a genius at times, but it's not genius to constantly go for dumb things like that. You go for that when it really is there. Not all the time. These kind of one of those crazy those crazy nut jobs. They be like, oh my God, plus money, throw your money at every single plus money, and every single crazy outcome without actual substance behind it. And I don't ever want to become that. I don't ever want to become that. Those people like, oh, dog or nothing. I don't ever want to become those guys. Those are the people that be begging for money outside the casino. I don't want to be those guys. I don't want to be those guys. And I ain't gonna be those guys. Bitter as a mug. I ain't gonna be those guys. But Shinji Njokuani versus Todorovic. With this one, I know that just watching Njokuani's fights and watching him at least Bellator wise. I ain't watching him too much. I ain't been watching him his whole career. I watched his brother when he was in the UFC in WEC, and I watched him, at least Bellator, and I saw that his grappling has issues. In Todorovic, I feel like he could have tested grappling, but then I looked at the stats and I saw that his takedown average was accuracy was 9%, and that should have been clear, stay away. And also the fact that Njokuani has lost to higher level competition, and this company especially getting this steam rolling right now, he's not gonna lose this early into his UFC career. Maybe a little bit later on, that's gonna come a factor, but at this point, it was too early for me to jump on that. It was just too early. He has the issue. And I kind of was this reaching with Todorovic, but that 9% takedown accuracy should have been enough. It should have been enough. And that's probably going to stand. And Njokuani is too sharp and too clean on the feet. Especially you miss the takedown, then you end up in the clinch, and Njokuani could butcher you in the clinch. And that's what he did. He landed that little elbow, had him rock, finished him off. Yeah, just, land a little sharp knee and stuff, rocked him, finished him off. So, yeah, miss a takedown, you end up in that clinch, he'll make you pay for it, and that's what he did. The 9% takedown accuracy should have been enough, but even with all the forewarning and a clear writing on the wall, I made the wrong decision. So it's just simple things you can make the same mistake a lot of times, or you can make them, some week you could do it right 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. 1 week the right, the next week wrong, make the same decision. Sometimes it's yeah. But reaching is never good, and that's what I did a whole lot this card, just trying to make things happen that I have no control over, or visualize things that just weren't it. A bunch of reaching with this card. Yeah. So the next fight, as far as Toro going forward, striking, that's going to be a big issue. I can't really say who he necessarily beats or what's his best path to success. His striking clearly has holes. He's clearly not the best wrestler, grappler in the division. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he tries to make a path for himself up the division, or if he stands around, or how can he really develop himself. A still young enough fighter, got to establish a true niche for himself or a true path of victory. But I don't know. I'm not saying him. He's definitely, his status is a prospect, contender, whatever you call him, is definitely fading with every single loss, and all of them seem to be bigger than the last, almost. But yeah, but Njokuani looking bright, looking good, and for 2 nice stoppages back to back. So Njokuani, the ceiling is very high for right now. The sky is very bright. His future looking pretty good, and that's that fight. This is the main event. I'm gonna be flat out honest. The main event, Holm versus Vieira. Holm should have won. It was no controversy. It was no controversy. Yeah, it was no controversy to that fight. To what the decision should have been. As far as, it was close. It was that. It was not close. It was pretty clear. And I don't know why people try to make, y'all can't judge. Y'all just be happy. If I get a pick wrong, or a pick is wrong, but I get the right pick because, the judges just on blind that day, or biased, or delusional, or whatever the case may be, just incompetent that day. I was yeah, my dude should have lost. My girl should have lost. But hey, a win's a win. And y'all can say that, a win's a win. But y'all be trying to go further, it was this and was that. I don't know, Lauren Sanko on, she know that pick was terrible. She know that result was terrible. She's trying to be on Twitter for several days defending that. For whatever reason, I don't know why. She's just trying to, so happy to get a seat at a UFC desk that she gonna talk so much about it or try and defend something that don't need to defend it. Like, because actually, the commission not part of the UFC; they're a commission. So maybe just kind of leaking out that there's some dirty going on in there. So she's trying to defend it, but Lauren Sanko, just commentate or whatever case may be, because that judging, that judging system was terrible. Because even what you try to say on Twitter to defend that decision was just dumb. In actuality, the only truly significant thing that Vieira did the whole fight, outside of getting control against the cage, getting struck on, and then when she engaged, Holm lashed her up and put her against the cage. It was not like she would mix Holm up and Holm would just clinch onto her for dear life. That was not the case. Holm would land her shots like 2-1 almost. And then when Vieira, anytime she got a little bit of, let her go on a little bit, she got tied up. It was never a case where Holm got dropped, Holm was rocked and needed to get the clinch to survive. It was never none of that. Vieira landed nothing of any great significance on her feet. Literally nothing of great significance. She didn't clip Holmes and drop her. She had Holm wobbled and running. She had Holm shelling up on the cage and rocked, or Holm having to really go in survival instinct mode and dodging punches or anything like that, or really had to get on her bike and really just start trying to throw some feints and move and stick behind a jab and try to regain. It never was that in the fight. Vieira never landed nothing of any great significance, literally nothing of any great significance, and got all landed 2-1. I think she only landed maybe one round out of 5, maybe one round out of 5. Her second round, she got that decent submission attempt. I feel like you give that round to her, but every other round, maybe even try to give her the first, but every other round, especially the last 4th and 5th, I don't even know what people are talking about the 4th round. The 4th and 5th round look like clear, very easy home rounds, just layup rounds, especially the 5th round. She hit her with 2 front kicks back to back, and then hit her with a question mark kick too, all in less than 10 seconds. So 5th round was an easy round for her Holm. 4th rounds, she didn't do all that, but she still landed more than her, clinched her, controlled her. I think in a 25-minute fight, she had her against the cage for 12 minutes of a 25-minute fight. And then the time that it was in most times, she was outlanding her about 2-1. So clear decision. That was a clear, poor. I ain't gonna say, oh, I made a bad pick. That was a good pick, and the wrong woman won. The wrong woman won. That's flat out. Debate your mama. The wrong woman won. But at the end of the day, by inch or mile, bad judging or good judging, Vieira won. I'll take that L. It's an L. But in reality, I ain't gonna be a case where I'm misfactored, because the way I feel Vieira could actually truly win without BS going on and inconsistent judging. The way Vieira could have won was maybe being able to get it to the ground. Maybe let some ground and pound, and then maybe just the grappling aspect, tiring the 40-year-old Holm down, or maybe, getting a ground and pound TKO, or maybe getting a submission. But I feel like we'll have become grappling. But she had literally limited grappling. So she had one decent attempt in the second round. Never really established any real control on the ground. Like I said, they had a standing submission attempt. That was it. That's all she had. So terrible decision, terrible judging. These judges need to be fired or re-educated, dock some pay, because they can't judge. Or, I don't know, somebody slipped some money in their pockets to try to get the old fighter out of there by just giving a horrendous decision. Because that was a horrendous decision. Let me just another thing. People think Whitaker won. They ain't here always here. People thought Whitaker won the second fight. Whitaker went in like a little scaredy cat, throwing one punch at a time, and that's a jab. And one or two punches at a time. Was scared to engage, got a takedown he did nothing with. And I was saying, I'll struck him every single round and dropped him in the first. That's not a bad decision. You can't compare that. Namajunas versus Weili Zhang 2. You can't compare that. Namajunas literally, with the fourth and fifth round, she got, especially the 5th round, she definitely scared her with a takedown. 4th round, she got a takedown, controlled her. Then another round in between, a little bit close, but she outlanded her. I think had around the same amount of control time. Now it was a clearer fight. But this fight, where do you draw it at? Vieira didn't land us of any great significance. She ain't ever hurt. She ain't ever rocked. She had one decent submission attempt. And every single round, for the most part, got outlanded 2-1. That is a bad decision. Whitaker don't deserve nothing. He don't deserve dirt. He don't deserve a pat on the back for that. You lost. Be quiet. Cut the welterweight, get knocked about Usman or something. but you don't deserve that. Cool guy with all that stuff, but you don't deserve nothing. It was not close. It was a terrible fight. Ain't no robbery at all. Right man won out of sight, clear. Not even up for debate. It ain't for debate. You think it's up for debate? You think somebody think all that stuff? You ain't all that. It ain't not up for debate. Weili Zhang, Namajunas, a little bit up for debate, but ultimately Zhang tried a style that wasn't her style, and she could not continue that. And then in the later rounds, Namajunas was able to wrestle her in a close fight and win. A little bit of controversy, a little bit, but I feel a clear person won in that fight. But this fight literally got struck 2-1, and then the most important round, the fifth round, a supposedly tight fight, which really wasn't a tight fight. It was literally just a home showcase in the fifth round. Like I said, 2 front kicks back to back, then a question mark kick, all landed on her, on Vieira. Then she landed like a step aside kick, knocked her off her balance. Like I said, it was dogging Vieira in that fifth round. So very terrible decision. Probably one of the worst decisions of this year and probably the past 2 years. It was a terrible decision. And it wasn't close at all. It should have been a clear home win. And that's my factual opinion. But yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.